Hello, welcome to Scobuff Sports. We are Haha.
I'm Hannah Howell.
I'm Harrison Simeon.
And we have a great week of sports ahead for you.
We begin our program with last weekend's football game against the Wyoming Cowboys. As always, here's Oliver Hayes and Leo Rivera with the recap.
Leopold Rivera IV. We are here at Folsom Field a little bit after the Colorado Buffaloes 37-20 win over the Wyoming Cowboys, bouncing back to improve to 2-2 on the season. The Buffs, they started Kane Salter at quarterback. As I said, they put up 37 points, which was a season high. The defense, they got a little shaky at the end of things, but still held the Cowboys to 20 points and looked at least a little bit more physical, a little more intense attacking the ball. Leo, what did you see? What were your initial reactions to the game?
Let's talk about that offense first. What we saw was finally an explosion from 9 total different receivers. Caden Salter had over 300 yards through the air, adding 86 in the score on the ground with 4 total touchdowns from him. Easily his best performance as a Buffalo Oliver, and it was a big bounce back game, which is something you wanted to see from the transfer that you expected to be the leader and premier, feature player of this offense.
Yeah, 100%. Or as he would say, most definitely.
I picked up on
a lot
it
of
as well.
answers, but no, he looked fantastic. The offense looked a lot more diverse. There were a lot less screen passes. That's one thing that a lot of us have harped on, whether journalists or fans or whoever. A lot of people have been complaining about the screen passes and the prevalence, but we didn't see that until I think it was the third drive of the game, until the second quarter. And even still, there were only 3-4 screen passes throughout the game. It allowed the Buffs to focus on running the ball, but also allowed them to focus on throwing the ball down the field. And as you said, they were able to access the receivers like Joseph Williams, who had a big catch, Amari Miller, who had a big touchdown catch as well. And those guys were able to just expand the field. And Kane Salter himself was able to use his legs. I think he had 86 yards on 11 carries, and he looked fantastic. I know he padded his stats a little bit at the end of the game with that touchdown run. But looking at the defensive side of the ball, I know I talked about how they kind of got shaky in the second half, but what did you see on the defensive side of things?
Yeah, I think defense, was able to replicate their success based on the fact that offense sustained long drives. The defense didn't have to go out there after 3 and outs right away, Oliver. They were able to be fresh, able to, get settled into the groove of things and really limit Wyoming. In that first half, Wyoming, didn't even crack 100 total yards of offense in the first quarter, right, specifically. So that just kind of showed the development in the way that this unit came out. And, Arden Walker had his best game of the year, totaling 6 total tackles, which led the team, tied with Tafik Bayard, by the way. And from a defensive end, he also had the first safety since 2010. So, his big night definitely propelled the success for that defensive unit.
Yeah, 100%. And one thing that stood out to me was the fact that there were 3 defensive pass interferences on third down to start the game that, I don't know, at least I'll keep it objective. They were called, and that's the most objective way to call it.
Yep.
I think some Colorado fans may disagree, but I don't know. We'll talk referee and we'll leave that alone. But looking forward to next week, the Buffs are going to have to take on BYU. And Quinn Barnes, he had a targeting penalty, so he will have to miss the first half of that game. But the Buffs, they also suffered some injuries. We heard a little about Jordan Seaton and Simeon Price. Coach Prime said that they're doing cool, but what do the Buffs have to do with the injuries on both sides of the ball, and Quinn Barnes being ejected and taking on a solid BYU team, and not only dealing with them, but looking forward to some solid Big 12 teams, but also 2 currently ranked teams.
Yeah, the number I'm going to circle and highlight is 193 total rushing yards, Oliver Hayes. That is easily the highest total in the Coach Prime era, and a big reason why Colorado was able to win by 17 points. Now, the loss to Simeon, Price, Hurts, and Kalen Taylor was also shaken up a little bit there as well, but we did see Dallin Hayden back in the rotation, so that should bring some confidence back to Colorado. But up front, that offensive line unit, if Zy Chrysler and Jordan Seaton are unable to go, then you're going to have some problems, most certainly. There is no other way to put it than the fact that Jordan Seaton is the heartbeat, the life force of that offensive line, and they're going to move people as he goes. So he needs to be there if Colorado wants to have a good week against BYU. But they got to be physical. If they can come out and play the same level of physicality that they had in the first half against the Cowboys, they're going to be in good shape to keep it competitive.
Yeah, I think so. There was a lot more energy on both sides of the ball, and I think a lot of that was due to the new Ralphie. I mean, we haven't talked about her yet, but I mean, that was the loudest that we had heard in Folsom Field in the 3 games that we have seen this season. And I mean, I guess that's speaking to the level of performance on the field that we've seen so far. So maybe not the best thing for the actual product on the field for the football team, but today they flipped the script. They got a lot more plays for the crowd to cheer for, and honestly, it was a lot more, inspiring as a journalist just to know that there's a team that's developing, and is working towards more of a goal, and is not just falling back on its same on its same faults.
Correct.
And having the same things happen. But I don't know. At least for me, I think that's all I can think of. What you have any final thoughts?
Yeah, I just think Colorado's going to have to regroup quickly and build upon the success, because BYU is going to be a formidable opponent that's going to come in here looking for a dub, Oliver Hayes. But overall, this was one of the most complete wins, I think, in the Coach Prime era as well, offensive and defensively. A lot to see as well. And one player we didn't mention was Sincere Brown, who also had that 68-yard reception after the scamper from Caden Salter, so shout out him as well.
Yeah, no, that was probably the fastest I've ever seen a CU Buff run in my time, and that is really saying something. The fact that we've seen Jimmy Horn Jr., DeKalon Taylor,
LeJontay Wester.
Yeah, LeJontay Wester, so many different guys who are insanely fast, who have put on the Colorado uniform. Sincere Brown, that was top speed down that right sideline tonight. But a lot of big plays tonight. A few things to clean up, of course, as there is after any football game. But the Buffs improved to 2-2 after a 17-point win over the Wyoming Cowboys here at a late night kickoff at Folsom Field. My name is Oliver Hayes alongside Leopoldo Rivera. And as always, you heard it here first.
The Buffs found their groove last weekend, taking down the Wyoming Cowboys 37-20. Caden Salter had an excellent game, throwing for over 300 yards and 3 touchdown passes. The senior quarterback showed impressive skills, rushing for over 80 yards and a touchdown on the ground. Defense held the Cowboys to only 3 points in the first half, but the second half struggles continued for the Buffs. With the win, CU moved to 2-2 on the regular season.
Ralphie 7 made her debut this past family weekend and did not disappoint. With lightning-quick fury, she led Colorado onto the field before kickoff and again to open the second half, drawing huge cheers from the crowd. She takes over as Ember. Ralphie 6 was recently retired, clearing the way for the next generation. Her run continues one of the most iconic traditions in college sports, a symbol of CU pride that fires up every player and fan. Ralphie 7 is set to run again this Saturday as the Buffs return to Folsom Field.
Stadium lights. In college football, nothing represents a bigger matchup. But for Deion Sanders and the Colorado Buffaloes, they haven't had much fun after dark. Considered an outlier, the 27-20 loss to Georgia Tech was a foreshadowing to the 36-20 beatdown that would occur in Houston 2 weeks later. That pattern needed to break.
Is there something you got to change then if your good week leads to a performance like this?
Yeah, night games. We get us our butt kicked at night. We normally get our butts kicked at night.
Why do you think that is?
Maybe because we're a morning practice team.
Well, not anymore. At least for now.
Sanders made the switch to night practice for their game against Wyoming and hopes to carry over that same success into this week's game against BYU.
We made plans to keep similar schedules. It impacted us tremendously because we understood how to turn our bodies off and on.
As the number 25 ranked Cougars come into Folsom Field Saturday night, the Buffaloes are hoping their willingness to adapt could help them conquer their nightmares. Leo Rivera, Scoop of Sports.
All right, the Colorado Buffaloes are back here at Folsom after a road trip to Houston. They're ready to buck the Cowboys today, so let's go see how people are getting ready for the game. All right, we are walking up to the tailgates right now. We have our only Wyoming Cowboys fans in the state of Colorado right now, so we're going to stay very clear away from them. How are we doing today?
Good, how are you?
Good. How are we feeling about the game?
Feeling pretty good about the game.
Feeling pretty good. I'd like to ask, how are we getting ready for the game today?
Sandwiches and tequila.
Sandwiches and tequila?
That's
I love
our job.
it. All right, well, I got to get a score prediction from you. How bad do you think we're beating the Cowboys today?
42-17.
42-17, all right. How excited are we to have Ralphie back at the game today?
I didn't even know he was back.
We got a new Ralphie debuting today.
Oh, well, hopefully he doesn't mess it up.
A yard line prediction for how far we're getting on the first run.
32-yard line.
32-yard line? All right,
Yeah,
that sounds good.
32-yard line.
What are your predictions for the score today?
I got 31-14 score,
31-14, all right.
and I got Ralphie around the 50.
Around the 50? Oh, all right. We got good confidence in the new
I
Ralphie.
hear this Ralphie's frisky, so.
I mean, as long as it's not, I think the quote was indifferent to running was the last
Yeah.
was the last Ralphie.
So in other words, lazy.
In other words, lazy. Sir, you were just being filmed by ESPN College Football for some B-roll for the broadcast. How do you feel about that?
It feels great.
Feels great.
Man, my arm's working great.
Arms working great.
Yeah, man. So we're gonna win this game.
Yep.
If you need somebody, I'm gonna be right here.
Do you think you just put yourself on the map right there with that scouting
I
performance?
mean, that throw there, I should be somewhere next week.
Of
Gotta
course.
try to do it one-handed, the only way you can.
Do you think he's making a team? Oh yeah. Let's see it. Let's see it.
Let's hit Lindsay.
That's a dot.
Oh,
That's a dot.
Hey.
That is a dot. All right, well, we hope you got some eligibility left. We'll see you on the field tonight. This is quite the getup. I feel like you got to have a pretty big pregame ritual.
You gotta look good to play good.
Look good, play good. All right, what's your score prediction for the game then? You're looking pretty good, so.
27-18 Buffs.
27-18, all right. We're seeing how people are getting prepared for the game. How would you say you were prepping for the Buffs game today?
Well, duh.
Duh. Ralphie's coming back today. Are we excited to see that?
Yes, sir.
Do we have a yard line prediction for the debut run today?
We're going to 35.
35? Okay, that's respectable. That's respectable. Feeling ready for the game?
Yes.
Yes?
Incredibly ready.
Incredibly ready?
I need like 6 more of these and I'll be
6 more?
perfectly ready.
How many are we in already?
This is number 1.
Number 1? All right.
For Ralphie 7.
Ralphie 7. That's
Coors
a
Lights.
good way. How do we feel about the new Ralphie this year? Do we think it's going to be better?
I have some intel that new Ralphie absolutely rips.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Some intel that Ralphie rips. All right.
I say she goes to the opposite 40.
The opposite 40.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. That's our farthest prediction of the day. What up?
What's the score?
We are going around to the tailgate seeing how people are getting ready for the game. Y'all want to be asked some questions?
I would love to be asked.
All right. How are we preparing for the game today?
In the best way. We're tailgating.
In the best way?
We're
Eating, drinking. All right. How many yards do we think Ralphie's running in her debut run?
What's the 100 yards?
100 all the way?
100
All
yards.
the whole field?
How could she not?
All right. 100 yards in the debut. All right. Oh, all right. We're 7 in.
28-0. Period.
28. We're scoring 28.
I feel like Wyoming
3-4 touchdowns. No, Wyoming got nothing.
Wyoming's got
because
nothing?
we're the CU Buffs. You know what that means?
CU Buffs.
School Buffs, baby.
School Buffs. School Buffs. True. Because we are the Colorado Buffaloes. That's just how we roll, man. All right. We're here with Hannah. What are your score predictions for the game today?
Ooh, score predictions. I'm saying Buffs are going in the 30s. Let's say 33
33?
to 20.
33 to 20. All right.
Yeah.
What are your predictions for Ralphie's debut run? How far is she making it?
I'm going to say at least the 40-yard line. Let's
least the
give her
40-yard
a
line.
little bit of, not 50 yet.
Not the 50?
I think that's further down the season, but I think 40.
Believe it or not, we just had someone say 100 yards. She's going.
Are you serious?
I am dead serious.
I don't think she's doing that.
This is Mo.
Mo, it's nice to meet you.
He needs some horns. So
Yeah,
that he
you're
can
right.
Be like Ralphie.
Mo, what are your score predictions for the game today? Oh, okay.
Well, if that's something I can eat.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you, Mo. Mo is going elsewhere. Thank you, Mo. Can I get a score prediction from y'all for the game today?
Score prediction.
Oh man, well Wyoming wears piss and poop. Okay, so we're going 69-0.
69-0 over the piss and poop. All right. He's not wrong. He's not wrong. How are we feeling about having Ralphie back?
I'm excited. Hopefully she runs.
Yeah, agreed. Just it was the mindset thing I think that was holding the last Ralphie back.
Well, she was born in Nebraska, so that was.
Oh, that makes sense. All right. You have the coolest outfit I've seen today, so I need to ask you some questions.
I was going for best dress. I was asked one time at the Jake Paul fights, and they asked me if America had any culture, and I said we got cats and Crocs, baby.
Yeah, we do. I'm loving the chain too.
I appreciate it.
Look
Yeah,
at that.
and
Let's
we
get a
got
little
the
close up on the chain.
Kool-Aid Man too.
Kool-Aid Man.
I know there's a lot going on here.
Well, are you excited to see your first Ralphie run?
Oh yeah, definitely. I was gonna go try to ride him, but I think that I don't think that would work too well. It's because I do got Spurs.
You do got the Spurs. Okay.
So,
the Crocs with Spurs. Yeah. Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Appreciate it. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Nala, it is so great to meet you, Nala. Can we see score predictions? Oh, okay. I think I heard blowout somewhere in there. Let's see it.
You're making a good toss, Mars. It's always something.
Here we go. Yeah, there we go. All right. Good job, Nala. All right, that wraps up another tailgate takeover. Thank you all for joining us. We got the Wyoming Cowboys about to come take the field to take on the Buffaloes and inevitably get stomped. We will see you back in the studio.
Thank you, Liam and Leo. They both went to Culver's this past weekend to check out cornerback Tion Parks' favorite restaurant. And while he was on the defense, the offense this past Saturday was led by Caden Salter, and Leo and I broke down his success. Take a look.
Colorado's offense answered the bell last week against Wyoming, but their defense and secondary are going to need to step up this week against BYU. We've been kind of trying to ask around and figure out if you have a favorite food spot during Boulder, and if so, what you ordered.
Favorite food spot? I would say Clover's.
Clover's?
Yeah, I get
triple Butterburger.
We are trying the triple butter burger and fries. We got 3 stacked patties I don't know what these types of patties are called, but they're smashed thin. They look fire. That's a thick burger right there. That's a beefy burger, a meaty burger right there. I can see why this is up there on his list of favorites. I will say, in terms of being beefy, that's something that the Colorado defense has to step up with. Colorado has let up a lot of free yards. There have been a lot of free runners getting into open space. Colorado linebackers not filling those gaps. Same with the defensive line. So if Colorado's going to stack up against the rest of the defenses in the Big 12, they have to be a little bit more beefy.
Going for this big triple bite. Nothing on it but the meat. Juicy. Cheesy. Buttery. Exactly what you want to see from the back end of your secondary.
Especially against a team like BYU, only allowed 1 touchdown all season. Colorado defense is going to need to step up and not necessarily match that, but it's going to have to compete. That defensive unit has been one of the worst in the Big 12 so far. So when you're stacking up one of the worst against one of the best, not a recipe for success. I like these fries.
Quick interjection, just like the referees were on Saturday versus Wyoming in that first quarter. 3 defensive pass interferences on 3rd down against Buffaloes, 2 against Preston Hodge, and 1 against DJ McKinney. But the thing I have to say about that is just like this shake that's pretty solid, pretty thick right here, Buffs need to stay solid with their approach to stopping the pass game as they did against Wyoming if they want to get a win against BYU.
Well, the meat and cheese of the burger is obviously the most important part, and the trenches are going to be the most important part of Colorado's success against BYU. If they can handle business there, they'll be able to come out and get a W. We ate, left nothing on the plate, per usual. Thank you so much, Culvers. We'll see you all next week.
Thank you, guys. I'm Harrison Simeon, and Caden Salter had his greatest game as a Colorado Buffalo on Saturday, but there were some big reasons why. Those offensive linemen out in front of him, and we're looking at a trips left, big 3rd down late in the first quarter. What do we got right here?
Well, let's first and foremost talk about the man deciding these calls, and that is big number 58, Zarian McGill. If you don't know that name, you need to get familiar because he's playing some great football. We have a 6-man pressure look from Wyoming here, and it seems like they're going to send the house. So what Colorado's going to do is they're going to shift their protection to the right, and they're going to fill in, I believe that's Dallin Hayden, to come and help in the protection.
Yeah, and it's a trips left, but Wyoming, in a disguise, only brings 3. So that linebacker's falling out, and that gives Caden Salter an eternity to throw this ball, and he fits it right in the middle on a little mesh concept. Draylon Miller, big 1st down. Look for Draylon Miller to be incorporated even more. Very similar play early in the second quarter. What we got?
Yeah, same thing here if you look at the pressure coming up. But what Colorado does this time is they're going to come to the left. And why they do this is you want to get your biggest guys on Wyoming's biggest guys, right? So they're going to bring a 4-man slide to the left, leaving big Larry Johnson isolated up on the right, which we call big on big.
And it's a mesh concept, but there is a post over the top. And look at Caden Salter. Not phased, has all day, throws this perfectly to a Marion Miller by that goalpost. Only place he really could have caught that clean. Big touchdown for Colorado to open things up later on in that game. He's celebrating. Caden Salter, big play. So next play, we got, what we got?
Yeah, we have the same exact thing. You have 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Count them, guys, in the box. Colorado isn't full. They're, again, going to move with this, 3-man slides to the right here as they were expecting pressure to come. But, again, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 guys for 4 guys with 2 extra blockers for Caden Salter.
And this is something we are very grateful for. A Colorado offensive line that can go to work. And look right here. We're going to freeze it right here because Sincere Brown, he's sitting. He's chilling. He's all good. But what does Caden Salter see? He sees Larry Johnson peeling that guy out of the protection. And he sees green grass all day up here. So what does he do? Quick little subtle point. Where are you going? Where nobody else is. This safety takes a terrible angle, not going to lie, and floats it in stride perfectly over the top. Sincere Brown reaching the 2nd fastest top speed of anybody in college football on this touchdown. Absolute burners. He turned on the Jets. real quick right here. What do we got?
Yeah, we have a true four-man look here for Colorado. This is super simple. Don't got to worry about no bluff blitzes. As you can see, we have four of the guys shifting to the left, and Kaidon Salter is going to have an eternity in this pocket.
Yeah, it's perfectly played by Wyoming secondary, a little high-low concept, but right up the seam, Joseph Williams, just toss it up to your big play guy. Joseph Williams, doing a little celebration. He's got some pixie dust for Sincere Brown in a second, and he is pixie dust for Colorado's offense this season, and that is why Kaidon Salter dominated this game. Back to you guys at the desk. After a much-needed win over Wyoming, Coach Prime and the football team take on the number 25 team in the land, the BYU Cougars, at Folsom on Saturday. The Buffs will look to get their first Big 12 win against the undefeated Cougars. BYU's starting quarterback Bear Backmeyer and potent run game led by L.J. Martin face off against Kaidon Salter. Salter is coming off his best start this season after throwing 300-plus yards and is battling to keep his starting position. The Buffs will be looking to make people forget the Alamo Bowl loss BYU handed them last year and get their first win against the Cougars since 1947.
The Buffs are back at Folsom Field on Saturday, taking on the number 25 ranked BYU Cougars. It's another late kickoff for the Buffs, but on the upside, the weather will be pleasant. There will be very little chance for rain, and that'll hold up until kickoff at 8:15. Temperatures will dip slightly to around 66 degrees as the sunset is set for 6:50. Halftime will see some partly cloudy skies and a temperature of 66 degrees just in time for the end of what should be an excellent game. Weather coming in around the low 60s. There is very little chance for rain, so expect to stay dry and go Buffs.
All right, Buffs, it's time for this week's trivia question. When was the last time CU won against a ranked team at home? Stick around for the answer near the end of the show.
Welcome back. After the volleyball team's 3-0 loss to Colorado State 2 Thursdays ago, the Buffs had a second chance to take the Golden Spike Trophy in Boulder. They were unsuccessful, losing in 4 sets to the Rams last Friday. Anna Barilovic had a season-high 22 kills in the match, but her stellar night couldn't put the Black and Gold over the top to gain a win over the in-state rival.
To open up Big 12 play, the Buffs traveled to Provo, Utah to face the BYU Cougars, and they came in with a swing as they upset the number 14 overall team in the country 3-1. With one of the most challenging matchups of the season, this is the first time since September 21st, 2021 that the Buffs defeated an AVCA top 15 team. The Buffs delivered the Cougars their first loss of the season and are now 1-0 in conference play.
After a big win in Provo, the Buffs travel 45 miles up the road to Salt Lake City to face the Utah Utes. Colorado looks to stay hot in Utah, but also break their 3-game losing streak to Utah. If the Black and Gold can solidify their offense the way they did in Provo, the Utes may have to find other solutions in serve and receive. Returning Utah outside hitter Cameron Gibdablo is Diablo, leading the team in kills with 165. The game will be streamed on ESPN Plus at 1 on Saturday.
Buffs will continue their conference play through the weekend, but will be back on Thursday at the CU Event Center as they will open up their first conference game of the season at the home against the UCF Knights. The two teams last saw each other in 2024 and went to 5 sets in that matchup where CU took the win. This time around may be different as UCF's top 2 offense pieces, Skylar English and Ava Armour, are staging out on why they are one of the best offenses in the league. This game will be on Thursday at 7 p.m. and will be streamed on ESPN Plus.
The Black and Gold conference play opening upset in Provo Thursday night marks a stunning turnaround after a lowly last season. Colorado is considered one of the best offenses in the Big 12 as Barilovic is second in kills and service aces while leading the conference in points. She's joined the Big 12's top-ranked hitters teams need to look out for, including Shaylee Myers from Kansas State and English from UCF.
Colorado soccer took down Iowa State 3-1 at Prentup Field on Thursday night. The Buffs struck twice in the first half and added a third point early in the second to secure the win. Junior forward Hope Leba scored all 3 goals, recording her second hat trick of the season, and joined Nikki Marshall as the only Buffs with multiple hat tricks in her career.
This Sunday, soccer takes on the Houston Cougars at Prentup Field in their third Big 12 game. Both the Buffs and Cougs are 1-0-1 in conference play and hold similar season records of 7-1-2 and 6-0-3 respectively. Houston has not lost a game this season, but has tied all 3 games they have played on the road. CU's lethal goal-scoring combination of Leba and Jace Holly will likely continue their top roles within the Buffs offense in the matchup. A win would keep the Buffs' undefeated home streak alive. Kickoff is set for 1 p.m.
Next Thursday at 6 p.m., the soccer team will travel to Fort Worth, Texas to take on TCU. Heading into the weekend, the Horned Frogs are ranked as the 10th best team in the country and will be playing the University of Kansas before their face-off against Colorado. This matchup will be a challenge, with TCU so far 2-0 in the Big 12 play and 8-1 overall.
There's a chill in the air. You know what that means. Basketball season is right around the corner. The men's hoop schedule just dropped. The Buffs scrimmage Grace College on October 19th before tipping off their regular season here in Boulder on November 3rd against the Montana State Bobcats. The Rocky Mountain Showdown against Colorado State will be in Fort Collins this year on December the 6th. Big 12 play opens up at Arizona State on January 3rd. And a gauntlet of conference foes are lined up to visit Boulder, including Texas Tech, Kansas, and Arizona.
The balls are bouncing and the shoes are squeaking at the CU Event Center. The Colorado Buffaloes men's basketball team officially started preseason practice this past week. There's a number of new additions among old faces, and Tad Boyle, entering his 16th season as head coach of the Colorado Buffaloes, is tasked once again to find cohesion among his new group of guys.
Well, it's finding a balance between saying, okay, we got to play 5-on-5 and understand, the offense and the defense, and yet still build habits.
Luckily for Boyle, the team has been working together since the summer.
It has been long since the men's basketball team has occupied the CU Event Center. They prepared to go to Australia and did this past summer, playing 4 exhibitions, getting prepared for this season. And now this Wednesday, September 24th, the preseason is officially underway.
Sure, the Buffs showed out on the trip that's allowed once every 4 years by the NCAA. Returners such as Sebastian Ranchik and Elijah Malone joined additions like Barrington Hargress and Isaiah Johnson as guys who stood out among the trip. But junior forward Bangat Dak didn't play due to knee surgery he had during the offseason, yet he was a full participant and fully healthy during the first practice.
I think the offseason was pretty good physically and mentally. I didn't get a lot of reps on the court because of the knee surgery, but I feel like mentally and body-wise, I was able to take another step where I need to be for the next season, so I think I had a pretty good offseason.
Another player who wasn't with the Buffs this offseason is Israeli freshman Alon McKaylee, who signed with the Buffs late in the summer.
I'm just trying to play hard, trying to make plays for the team, trying to help a lot on the defensive side, and on offense make plays when I get it.
But no matter how much experience one has within the program,
we still got a long way to go. A lot of things we have to get better at and habits we have to build. I think that's the biggest thing, is having them understand the habits and then the execution of the habits.
So until November 3rd, the Buffs will be building just like every other program across the country. Oliver Hayes for ScoBuff Sports.
The women's basketball team has a great season ahead. They'll be tipping off the season at home against the Colorado School of Mines on October 23rd, followed by New Mexico on November 6th. They hit the road on the 12th, going on to challenge the Louisville Cardinals. Thanksgiving week, they'll feel the Island Breeze against Texas A&M, VCU, and UT Arlington at the North Shore Showcase in Oahu, Hawaii. Big 12 play opens in Tempe against Arizona State on December 21st. CU celebrates New Year's Eve with a home conference opener against the Arizona Wildcats.
Sneaker squeak and basketball's echo as CU women's basketball hits the floor for the first time this season. Day 1 of practice is here and their journey to March glory starts now. But
while it's the first day of the preseason, J.R. Payne still has one goal in mind.
Be great every day, and we firmly believe that. So like the first training session in July, we talked about it. Our goal was to be great that day, even though we didn't really do much, and then even as we go into March, it'll be the same thing. Just be excellent today. That's it. If we can do those things, on a daily basis, then I think we have a great chance to be playing late into March.
March runs are still a long time away, but with 10 newcomers for the second straight year, Coach Payne is excited for what this group brings.
Very, very intentional with who we signed this past spring. which is partly why I will tell you that I'm so excited about this team, is because we were really intentional about recruiting like very competitive kids, people that really valued being a great teammate, being a leader, developing those skills. And so as a result, our staff did a great job of recruiting the right people.
With a near complete roster turnover, it can be hard to integrate new players into the program, but this offseason proved to be helpful for the Buffs.
Summer is a huge gift, for us to be able to train in the summertime. We do a fair amount of basketball, a lot of weight training, and then a large portion of what we do and what the team does is dedicated to team building, really getting to know each other. It's not as much about the activity of team building, although we did some different things that were fun, but it's really more about just spending time together, learning who each other are on the court, off the court, so that they can develop that trust and camaraderie.
Of the newcomers, freshman Logan Greer is among those looking to make an impact early. The 6'4" wing explained her mentality heading into the postseason.
I actually just compete, learn, just take it day by day. Because as a freshman, you're gonna have a lot of up and down moments, so you try to just stay solid and keep your head level. Will definitely help.
This preseason holds a lot of promise for the Colorado Buffaloes, especially J.R. Payne's praise for her players.
Yeah, I think, obviously with 10 new people, you're kind of drinking out of a fire hydrant in a lot of ways. Because every single thing we're doing is new. Even for our players that have been in college for 3 or 4 years, it's still new the way that we do it and the language we use and different things like that. Everyone's just been a sponge, like listening, being coachable. Of any group I've ever coached here at CU, this group is more coachable from each other. Like everyone we've had listens to the coaches, with respect and things like that. But this team is very willing to coach each other, and they're willing to be coached by each other, which I think is just so incredible.
It's only day one, but the journey towards success starts now. Xavier McNevitz, Scope Buff Sports.
The tennis team had a great weekend at the Bedford Cup tournament hosted by Air Force this past weekend. Freshman duo Lenny Brotman and Yukiko Akedo made a run to the championship but fell short, losing it 6-3. However, Brotman was able to take home the first place trophy in singles tournament play, where she faced fellow Buff Pia Rebic. As a team, the Buffs recorded 22 wins. Their next tournament is the ITA Mountain Regionals starting on October 7th.
The men's golf team tied for third place at the William H. Tucker Intercollegiate. Ty Hallbrook led the charge, shooting 6 strokes under par. Collectively, Colorado put up disappointing scores in the first and third round. The team shot even par in those 2 rounds, compared to shooting 17 under in the second round. If it weren't for their dominant middle round performance, the Buffs would most likely finish outside the top 10. A third-place finish is nothing to be ashamed of, but Colorado still has room for improvement. The team will host the Mark Simpson's Colorado Invitational starting on Monday.
On the women's side, the Buffaloes claimed victory for the first time since 2017. The squad shot 12 strokes under par at the Colonel Wallenberg Ram Classic in Fort Collins. The tournament was shortened to just 36 holes because of inclement weather. Junior Maya McVeigh led the Buffs with a score of 4 under. She finished in a tie for 4th place. Colorado has a week off to celebrate before heading to Highlands Ranch for the Ron Moore Intercollegiate on October 3rd.
Earlier today, the CU cross-country programs traveled to Missouri for the Gans Creek Classic. The Buffs entered ranked 13th for the men's race and 26th for the women's race. The men's team placed 3rd out of 31 teams in the 8K. Their top finisher was Dominic Sarum, who placed 5th with a time of 22 minutes and 45 seconds. The women's team also placed 3rd in the 6K, with their top finisher, Jessie Secor, who placed 17th with a time of 19 minutes and 41 seconds.
Welcome to Folsom Feud. I'm your host, Colby, here with 3 contestants today, Lincoln, Balin, and Kieran. Lincoln, start us off.
I'll take game day etiquette for 200.
All right. This is the best way to show respect during the CU fight song.
What is standing, singing loud, and raising your hand in the hook 'em horn sign?
Not what we're looking for. Balin, you have an answer?
What is stand up, sing loud, and do the Ralphie horns?
Correct. Balin, the board is yours.
Give me tailgate traditions for 400.
All right, here's the answer. The must-have item to wear on game day to show your Buff pride. Kieran?
What is black and gold?
That's correct. Nothing says school spirit like those 2 colors. Choose the next one.
Let's do fan etiquette for 600.
Fan etiquette. The proper response when you hear someone yell, "Go Buffs."
What is Go Buffs?
Skull Buffs is right. Looks like we've got some true Buffs fans here. But thank you all for tuning in. Thank you to our contestants, and see you next time.
Men's D1 hockey looks to bounce back from a tough 6-1 loss to the University of Jamestown on Thursday with a series against the University of Mary in North Dakota. Matthew Server had an impressive performance as he was peppered all night, stopping 58 of 64 shots he faced. The offense struggled as they only put up 14 shots through 3 periods of action. The Buffs will look to get back the spark of their offense in the 2-game series on Friday and Saturday. The Marauders are 1-2 and ranked 14th, while the Buffaloes are 2-2 and ranked number 25 in the country.
Don't think hockey is out of Boulder just yet. D2 hockey returns to the ice this week to play a plethora of Montana schools. The Montana Grizzlies rolled into Boulder last night for a rare 4 p.m. matchup. It was a thriller, but the black and gold walk away with a 5-3 victory. The Buffs head down to the Ice Center at the Promenade in Westminster tonight for a late 9:30 p.m. face-off against the Bobcats of Montana State. Finally, on Saturday, the Argonauts of the University of Providence roll into Westminster for a noon face-off. And no, it's not Providence College.
The women's hockey team started its season with a huge 8-0 win over Denver last Friday at Magnus Arena. Senior Zoe Watson was a brick wall in net, stopping all 30 shots she faced. 7 of the 8 goals were scored by different players, with Natalie Ewald scoring 2. The Buffs will travel to Wyoming to play the Cowboys in a 2-game series on Saturday and Sunday, and will try to keep their offense rolling. Wyoming is 0-3 heading into the series as Colorado looks to stay undefeated.
Women's club soccer is off to a hot start. All teams walking away with W's last weekend. Team Gold takes on Mines Saturday and UCCS Sunday at home. The Air Force Falcons fly into Boulder Sunday to play Team Black. Team Silver is on the road this week at Northern Colorado. Catch Sunday's games live right here on Skull Buff Sports.
The men's side also swept last weekend and returned to action tonight. Team Gold travels down to Denver to face the Pioneers this evening and return home Sunday to play Mesa. Team Black will make the trek to the Springs to play UCCS on Saturday, and Team White makes the short trek to Denver to play Metro State on Saturday afternoon.
The men's rugby team faced off against the Wyoming Cowboys this past Sunday in a border war showdown. The Buffs got off to a slow start to the match, going down 14-0 in the first 20 minutes. CU wouldn't back down, however, as the 2 late half-scoring drives would tie the game up at 14 apiece going into the half. The Buffs and Cowboys would trade blows throughout the second half, but a CU fumble on what would have been a 70-yard try served as a final blow in the Buffs' effort. Despite their loss 30-25, the Buffs look to bounce back this Sunday at home against Air Force.
Family Weekend was full of electric plays, and our very own Kieran Warder wants to highlight some of the very best. Kieran?
Hey Buff fans, I'm Kieran Walker bringing you this week's top 6 plays in Colorado sports. We had a great time at Family Weekend last weekend, so let's dive right in with our number 6 pick this week. We go to football against the University of Wyoming Cowboys who rolled into town. We have Caden Salter. He's going to take this one himself. He's got a wide open slot, charging down the left hash, and he's in for the touchdown. Absolutely electric. That was the game winner. It put the Buffs up 37-20. Buffs walked away with a huge W that evening. As we go to number 5, let's go to baseball now at Scott Carpenter Park against the University of Denver Pioneers. This one's hit deep into right field by Rishi Nair, and that ball is gone. First homer of the season for Colorado in fall ball. Absolutely electric. That stadium went nuts, folks. Let's go to number 4 now. We go back to football, and Wyoming has the ball. Caden Anderson takes the sack from Arden Walker. What an electric play, and he stands up, hits the little celly. That is how you do it, folks. That's how you get the crowd back on your feet. We go back to baseball for our number 3 pick this week. We've got another home run deep into left field this time, courtesy of Caden Meyer. That ball is gone, baby. And that stadium went nuts once again. If you could even say it went nuts, how tiny that field is. But back to our number 2 pick, we go back to football against Wyoming. This is much earlier in the game. Caden Salter breaks out of the pocket, rolling out to his right. He's got a man downfield, caught by Sincere Brown, charging down the sideline at the 20, the 10, and he's in for the touchdown. What an electric play. 68 yards receiving on that end. And our number 1 pick this week, we've got that same game. Salter plants his feet and rifles it towards the end zone. And in traffic was Joseph Williams, and he makes an incredible catch. And Colorado was up 27-3 early in the second half. Ladies and gentlemen, that is how you get the crowd on their feet. We had some electric plays this past week, and we're looking forward to having some more this coming weekend and into next week. I'm Kieran Warger, wishing you all a wonderful weekend.
Here we see Xavier McNevitz working on his reader for the live show. If we didn't have these readers done by Thursday night, chances are we would not be airing this show right now. Be like Xavier. Get your readers done. And don't forget to click save so that you don't lose any of your hard-earned work.
What's up, Buff fans? I'm Avery Childs, here to bring you this week's Rapid Fire. Women's volleyball goes head-to-head with Utah in Salt Lake City Saturday at 1. Make sure to tune in on ESPN+. Later that night, we've got football kicking off at 8:15 right here at Folsom Field, where the CU Buffaloes will take on the BYU Cougars. If you can't make it to this game, make sure to catch it on ESPN. Moving into Sunday, women's soccer faces off against Houston on Prentice Field at 1. If you can't make it, you can watch it on ESPN+. Lastly, we've got men's golf teeing off in the Mark Simpson Colorado Invitational on Monday and Tuesday at Colorado National Golf Course. Once again, I'm Avery Childs, and that's it for this week's Rapid Fire. Back to you at the desk.
Well, if you're still with us, we are now going to reveal this week's trivia question answer. As a reminder, the question was, when was the last time CU won against a ranked team at home? And the answer is 2019 against Nebraska.
Our tweet of the week comes from former SBSer Ryan Koenigsberg, who tweeted a screen grab from the ESPN broadcast of Colorado-Wyoming. Last Saturday, these fans showed up with some painted bodies to spell out Buffs. But in the second half, it looked like they had a letter missing. That's when Ryan tweeted out, "Buffs become BFFs when you stop making it all about you." Something tells me that U stood for urinal.
We've been HaHa, and we've got another thrilling week of Buff sports ahead.
Stay tuned for it all, and always remember, you heard it here first.